Thank you for tuning in, everyone. I'm your host, Konrad, on Wednesday Night Reviews. And from superheroes to average Joes, here's what I read this week. So I polished off Superman Year 1, books number 2 and 3 by Frank Miller, John Romita Jr., and of course, colors by Danny Miki and Alex Sinclair. This is a book for DC's Black Label. It is a 3-book collection, and the hardcover is out now. So you can take a trip over to your local comic book store. They will likely have the hardcover in stock that you can pick up. It's going to be one extra set of this thickness, big, plus whatever extras they have, and of course the hard binding. The story itself, it's Superman Year 1. It is Superman's origin, and it's told this time by Frank Miller. And it's a pretty cool take on Superman. For most origin stories, you always see the Last Son of Krypton being jettisoned away from the planet via a rocket. As it explodes, he lands down, and we see him raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent. At that time, they teach him what it means to be a good person, and then he kind of grows up a little bit, and then we see him suddenly become a man. He learns his past. He goes out and he becomes Superman. Whether that's fighting Zod or some other way, he comes into his own, and then go from there with every other story and creative team you can think of. These books, as well as the first one, which I will put a link to my review for book 1 here, right on my face, take a different perspective. So yes, it all starts the same. Last Son of Krypton, a rocket, planet explodes, crashes on Earth. John and Martha Kent grab young Clark Kent, Kal'El, name him Clark Kent, raise him to be a good man. But what we see throughout these books is how a young adult and I'll say late teen to early 20s Clark Kent becomes Superman. So, unlike any other version of Superman's tale that I've seen, what I like most about Frank Miller's here is that it takes him on an adventure through the military. So the first issue ends with him joining the military. The second and third issues take him on a journey where he does overly well in the military. Of course he would. His body is the ultimate weapon. He never gets tired. He has the greatest reflexes, impenetrable skin. I mean, you can't hurt the kid. And God, he wants to take you down. You're going down. So he quickly, within his organization, within the military, rises up. And he's sent on an operation. And from there, once people start to catch on to, wait, that Kent kid, he ain't normal. His life kind of teeters out of balance, I'll say. Within the normal perspective, of course, what does Clark care? He was there to gain experience in the world. He thought serving his military would be that best way to do it, and it kind of gets a little derailed on him. But through this adventure, he learns all about the world, which is what he wanted. He learns about Earth, its inhabitants, people other than humans that might be here. He runs into Lois Lane, and he starts really making a name for himself. And my favorite part of this whole thing has been the dialogue he has, where he could easily just squish you. Like, you're done. He doesn't want you there, gone, bye. But it's the ways that he continually modulates his beliefs as he's thrown up against something different. And not just from a military perspective, not just from a supernatural perspective, but also as a moral person. And he starts taking on all these different thoughts, and with the people he meets and how they test him, he learns not only to morally as well as literally work his way around, someone that is smaller or weaker, but also, these grand scale events. And he sort of cuts a little slice out for himself, right where Superman and Clark Kent need to live, in order to be able to do what it is that he wants to do. And he experiences a lot that he's not ready for, but he takes it in stride And my favorite thing, and this might just be my interpretation of Superman, but my favorite thing is that it always comes back to his core lessons from his father. What would Dad say? What would Dad think? How can I apply this to make the best outcome for everyone? Not for Clark Kent, Superman, but for everyone involved, so that way the world can prosper. And I think it's an interesting take on it. Unfortunately for me, I did not like this book in the respect of we know how it ends. If you're watching this right now and you've never read a Superman comic book in your life, you still know how it ends just because of movies and TV and all this other stuff. There's only one way it could end. So I'll put this up here, spoiler warning, but this book ends when Superman meets Batman and Wonder Woman and starts to get into the League. And it's kind of course, that's how it has to end. Otherwise, none of this makes sense within a connected universe. And it was kind of a letdown, to be honest. I was expecting something really weird, but it kind of just went, yep, and, boop, connected. I get it. But overall, I thought it was a great book. Frank Miller's writing is really cool. I like how Frank Miller has these introspective characters within his current writing. It certainly doesn't feel like his old writing. Like, there's an air to it. But Frank Miller, as a creator, has evolved. And I think his stories have evolved for the better. John Romita Jr., I'm personally not particular to his art. However, it's a beautiful series of books. Again, the hardcover's out, so go grab them. But it's super unique. Again, I think the reason John Romita Jr. has got to the position he's gotten to, obviously, is because he's good at what he does. He has a unique style. He's got a good way of drawing characters. I'm not partial to the how of the way he draws faces, the lines he uses. But it again, it's not bad art. It's not, in my opinion, fabulous art. But then again, it's good. Like, I enjoyed it. There was never a panel I saw and went, ugh, what's that? It all made sense. It was all clear. It just wasn't quite for me. Alright, guys. So, again, check out Superman Year 1. You can go to your local comic book store. They'll probably have a hardcover on hand. You may even be able to get the actual book still. And if that's the case, and you get a variant, tweet at me, Instagram message me, whatever you want to do. My links are down below. Have a like on the video here, subscribe for more, and leave a comment about what you thought of Year 1, as well as what you've been reading, so I can check it out. Have a good one, everyone. Is out now, so you can have a so you can make a